Thank you, Mr. Harry Weiss, for conducting such an interactive and insightful training session. I'm sure that all our participants are taking some key takeaways from this event. Next, we are coming with the fireside chat of Mr. Mani Chaudhry with Dr. Hana Abdelmegid. Dr. Hana is the Corporate Quality and HSE Director at Fargo Corporation, Site Director at PBIC for API Manufacturing, Project Fellow, Shaping the Future of Health and Healthcare at World Economic Forum. They are going to discuss on an interesting topic, digitalization strategies and financing solutions. Thank you.
Good evening. Welcome, Dr. Hana. I think I don't need to again introduce Dr. Hana. Everyone know who is Dr. Hana, right? Yes? I am considering yes, because it is late evening, right? So one mic, please. Yeah. So before I start some questions to Dr. Hana, I would like to ask a few questions to you, right? Is there an economic crisis now in Egypt?
No.
Yes or no?
Not at all.
Yes or no? Yes or no? No or yes? Is there any crisis in the pharma? Yes or no? Because dollars are not going out of Egypt. Right? Okay. The next question is Egypt is the largest producer of medicines in Middle East and Africa. Is it right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So now there are some challenges as an industry it is facing. Whether it is a one side, post-corona, everything is expensive. Right? Even raw materials are expensive. Everything is expensive. And the customers of the organizations always wanted you to keep the price low. But your raw material cost increases, your manufacturing cost increases, right? So I have few questions to Dr. Hana, right? So the first question start with, how have the current economic crisis in Egypt impacted the pharma industry, especially with its digital growth?
Thank you for this nice session. Actually, let's start with the international or global crisis that's hitting all the world in terms of inflation and the Russian-Ukrainian war and supply chain disruptions following the COVID-19 pandemic without rest in the middle. Of course, this had an impact all over the world and consequently on Egypt. And the pharmaceutical industry was greatly hit by this economic crisis, especially after the exercise of devaluation of the Egyptian pound, which lowered the value of the Egyptian pound tremendously for 3 times. And the problem was also the lack of hard currency that made the government restrict the release of the goods and the raw materials and the equipment and everything in the customs until after the devaluation of the Egyptian pound. So it was a very big hit on the pharmaceutical industry. Consideration that pharma industry has a low profit margin, not like other industries. Especially in that most of the Egyptian market, our Egyptian pharmaceutical companies has low priced products. There is no high-priced products that can cover this loss in profit. Of course, we had a problem in difficulty of importing raw materials and equipment that led to slowing down the production and even closing the companies for some days. The problem is the guidelines does not care about the economic crisis, and the regulatory requirements does not care about what we are suffering from. They are still requiring as a mandatory requirement to match the GMP guidelines, especially that Egyptian Drug Authority now is thriving to be accredited by the WHO. So pushing the pharma industry in Egypt to follow the guidelines in the WHO. Therefore, we were suffering also because we were striving to implement electronic systems in our companies. However, when this economic crisis hit, it stalled the negotiations and the purchasing of the electronic system, and the establishment and the maintaining of electronic systems now became a big challenge.
Oh, that means just like that on a happy note or like on a sad note. So, do Ample Logic will get an opportunity this year?
Unfortunately, if the crisis we are having now continues, it's out of our hands. We don't have the money. We don't have the hard currency. It's a big problem, but we need to work together to find a way to solve this problem.
Okay.
Because I believe there is no problem without to solve the problem, we can find a way.
But just to add your view, right? Suppose when there is one side the economic crisis is there, and on the other side, like there are some issues that comes out from an audit. Let's assume now it will further worsen the organization, like that financial conditions, right?
Sorry.
If the organization is there, right? If the organization now there is an organization is not going for an automation, let's assume.
Yeah.
And now the organization is in a kind of critical crisis because economic crisis is there. Now in that state, right? So when there is an audit finding, right, which really means an observation which is causing also like that impact on the economics.
Actually, I can give a practical example of what you are saying, because we were undergoing WHO inspection. Again, I have to tell you, guidelines and inspectors and regulatory authorities does not care about financial situation or economic crisis. And if you mention that, this is a problem. You are not allowed to take this as an excuse for not implementing the requirements of GMP. The thing is, we are trying our best actually, and one of the mainly other the findings, the solution of all the findings is the implementation of electronic system. But that's why we need help from the vendors and from the electronic system providers to consider us as their partners and figure out a solution with us to solve this problem.
Oh, so your partners means that you are expecting the vendors to fund the software also?
Together we should find a solution.
This very rarely means a smart idea, right? So
your customers in the end.
Yeah. So it really helps us. So there was one when we were planning to conduct this event, some of our colleagues were saying now there is an economic crisis in that across the globe, and even though Egypt also there is some economic crisis. Why do you would like to have this event at this moment, right? So, but you see, when the tough times only you need some helping hand.
Yes.
Am I right? So now that was the reason that we have chosen irrespective of an economic conditions, and it is good. We need to have this kind of event. So the people start thinking, and what Dr. Hannah has rightly said. Even the vendors should, because we also call, right, vendor is a partner. Partner is not always when you have money. When you don't have money, also partner should come forward.
Should give money.
Yeah, this is really a good. So now the next question is what is the future, future of the pharmaceutical industry in the Egypt? Is it looks promising? Because just to add one, the point here. I keep hearing, how many of you agree or not, European unions, they are coming forward and trying to buy some medicines from Egypt.
Yes.
Am I right? So, do you think, the future of this pharmaceutical industry?
Actually, like you said, everything has a positive side and a negative side. For the economic crisis, although it has many negative sides on us, but actually there is a very important positive side that now Europe is suffering, as I said, a very big inflation wave, and everything is higher in cost. So they find Egypt and Middle East, but Egypt mainly, as a safe, because after the devaluation, our cost is very, very much cheaper or lower than whatever that can cost them in Europe. And actually in USA, they mandated that they need to go away from China and India to other countries, because China is dominating and they are fearing of their prevalence.
Okay.
They are focusing on North Africa, specifically Egypt, because Egypt, I have to say this proudly, we have the most skillful labor in the region, and even more than China and India, because we have the people are graduated from top universities, which are the public universities. They are graded some of the top universities all around the globe. That's a good thing, and of course we have very cheap infrastructure and utilities and everything. So Europe is actually searching for us. But the thing is, for the pharma industry to survive, export now is becoming a mandatory thing, not an option and not a luxury, because we are in a very big lack of hard currency, and unfortunately, sadly, we are relying heavily, completely on importation, either of raw materials or equipment or software. So we have to pay either in dollars or euros, and we don't have this. So the only way to provide and secure hard currency is through exportation. But the other side of the equation, you will not be able to export unless you comply with the export countries' regulatory authorities' requirements, which mandates certain requirements that can be helped by the implementation of electronic systems and integration between systems and of the QMS and data management system and everything. So it's a very hard equation. But as I said, the only solution is to work together as partners to help each other to pass this period. Because in the end, like Dr. Dua eloquently said, the selection of the vendor is very critical. And we have to have a professional vendor that can ensure that the electronic systems that are established are effective and they are actually doing what they are meant to do.
Yeah, okay. So here one point, that what Dr. Hannah said is Egypt has got skill like, that the people. So I would like to say this, even India has got a skilled people, right? So we are, so it means India, China, and also Egypt, they are fighting they're together like in a healthy competition, right, to deliver the product medicines to the world. Am I right?
Yes.
So finally, we are three players who are going to dominate the global the medicine market. Okay.
China is already dominating. They are trying to get away from it.
Wow.
So we are the section.
Not India. Not India is not down.
Not yet, yani. India is still a friend to the superpowers.
Okay, so now the question is now you asked me as a partner, right? You asked me as a partner saying that the technology company should be a partner with you, right? So how do you want that kind of partnership model?
First of all, to have some empathy regarding the situation that the pharma companies are passing through and putting yourself in our shoes. And based on that, we can figure out solutions on how to have phases of implementation, how to make sure to prepare the people so that we have faster installment and implementation without the issues that can be suffered due to lack of training or lack of awareness. And of course, to negotiate the terms of the financial terms in a way that can help to pass this. Yani hopefully, I suspect that hopefully by 2023, the end of it, the crisis will end, because usually economic situation is like circles. When you are in the bottom, you are optimistic to go up. But when you are up, you fear that you will go down. So I am really very optimistic that after this very hard time, we are going to go up. So you have to count for this day when we are up, so that we remember how you helped us when in the downturn, and then the pharma industry will be grateful to the electronic system vendors that they helped in the crisis, so they will give them, they will have the loyalty to them, and they will actually work as long-term partners afterwards.
Okay. So just thanks for all your viewpoints on my questions. But I would like to end this thing just taking a confirmation from Dr. Hannah. When you are saying when you are on the downside and the partner is going to help, and when you are on the upside, you are going to pay more to the partner?
No, not more, the usual stuff. The usual, which is increasing
how many of you agree?
No,
when you are
increasing every day. It's terrible. I can give you a very practical example. We are actually we started the implementation of some systems, and suddenly, in less than a month, the price tripled, not even doubled. I'm not talking only about electronic systems, I'm talking about equipment. Everything, it's becoming crazy. So vendors already know that, and they update their prices accordingly. It will be, the thing is that you have a continuous implementation and addition of other systems, because as I said in the previous panel discussion, the requirements for data integrity and for the automation increasingly evolving all the time. And as I said, 10 years ago, it's not like now. Every time you need to add something, every time you need to integrate more systems together. There is always need for this.
Okay, so now before closing this session, so when if Ample Logic comes forward because it is a downturn, right? Will you start implementing the system in next 2-3 months? You have any plan of starting this?
We're actually not only with you, by the way, having discussions with many service providers, and we started seriously the plans for implementation, but suddenly we were hit by this. We had to hold until we will be able to do that, because actually it's inability. It's not a matter of willness, it's ability.
Okay. Great then. So thanks, Dr. Hannah, for the sharing your views. You have any questions?
Thank you so much.
You have any questions for me or Dr. Hannah? No questions? So no questions have been coming in. So Vyas was talking about a Kia car, right? No questions, right? No, any ideas which you can share to come out from this economic crisis? Pardon?
Discount percent.
Discount percentage. Okay,
Current customer requirement of discount, decreasing the price by increasing the discount percent.
Yeah, definitely. We give a discount when you are in a slowdown, when it is going up, so that we will also take it when you are. Yeah, that's a good practice also, right?
Referral, word of mouth. This is very important.
Yeah, doctor, you are saying something.
Maybe some can do some companies as
Just can you take the mic?
Thank you. Maybe you can do some companies like Thermo. Thermo on their website now today offering scheduling payment till 60 months. You buy
60, not 16.
60.
60.
Yes. You can buy the device, the equipment, and scheduling the paying till 60 months. This will help greatly.
Yeah.
You will not give a high discount, but you may
the periodic payments.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can accept to pay on scheduling time, long schedule time, and have the benefits of the current system. Not pay everything in 3 or 6 months, and will be hit with the currency. Okay.
Yeah, okay, great. So, give you one classic example, our real life example, which I would like to share it. Any one of you know there is a vaccine called Covaxin?
What?
Covaxin, the corona vaccine. Corona vaccine. 12 and 13, right? Because they were very small at that time. Now the Covaxin made them to kind of, lead the market. So yeah, we have practically implemented such scenarios.
Yes.
Okay, definitely. We'll be happy to, right?
It will
Not
be-
only we, right? So as Dr. Hana said, not only Ample Logic, any vendor. What do you mean?
Yes, of course, of course.
And he gave an international example because it's a, as I said, it's a global economic crisis.
Yeah.
It does not hit only Egypt.
Sure. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone.
Thank
Yeah.
you, doctor. Thank you.